Welcome, I'm Rose Oatley, and today I'm going to show you how to make a spaghetti in a delicious creamy green sauce, perfect for this Halloween season or any time of the year. So what do you say, my little victims? Out with the inner bitch and in with the inner witch. Let's get started. First, let's talk meatballs. You can buy them frozen and just heat them up, or you can buy them raw. I bought these from Walmart. You just put them in the oven at 375 degrees for 30 minutes and they're done. Or you can cook them from scratch. I do have a recipe if you're interested in my channel. So now go preheat your oven so they're ready to go for later. In the meantime, I've got 1 bush of cilantro. I'm going to cut it in half and add it to a blender. You will need your blender for this. Then we're going to set our blender aside for now. You're also going to want to chop and dice half of a small onion. You're going to need 3 garlic cloves, but first you want to dice one of them up. The other 2 you want to place in your blender. I have just put my meatballs in the oven. They're going to cook for 30 minutes. Here I've got some Poblano peppers. These are usually pretty large. Make sure when you buy them that they are Poblano peppers. We're going to go roast these on our stove. Today I'm going to be roasting them in a griddle. I start with a high heat to get my pan nice and hot. Then I turn my temp down to about a number 7. All right, so let's go ahead and place all of our Poblano peppers on here. I'm going to let them sit here for just a bit, then start turning them over. You want to do this every so often. We want our Poblano peppers to get nice and blistered. If you notice here, they're already starting to blister up, which is what we want.
You're watching Rose Oatley. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified of any new videos.
Once they're nice and blistered up like this, we want to go ahead and place them in a large Ziploc bag. And by the way, it does take a few minutes for them to get this way. You'll have to turn them over a few times. Then you want to let the air out, seal your bag, and we're going to let them sit here to sweat for about 10 to 15 minutes. In the meantime, to a pan, you want to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm going to add my onions and 1 garlic clove that I diced up. We're going to saute our onions until they caramelize. Now they do take a few minutes, but you want to make sure that they turn into a golden brown. The caramelization of your onions will give it such a delicious flavor. Anytime you make spaghetti, I recommend it. You'll notice your onions go from a translucent color to a golden brown color like this. And please be sure to adjust your temp as needed. I went ahead and just turned mine down to low. You don't want to burn your onions either. So just make sure they're golden brown. All right, so these are actually looking pretty good. I'm going to turn my heat off and then we're going to add our onions into our blender. Now we're ready to pull out our peppers. While they were sweating in there, you're going to notice that when you pull them out, they're going to be nice and soft. Once you pull them out, you want to start peeling the outer skin off, especially in the blistered areas. You can use your fingers or a paper towel. Next, you want to de-seed your pepper, otherwise it'll be hot. Just make a slit in the center and then cut the very top off. The top will go in the trash. You can sweep all of your seeds out into the trash, or you can rinse it in the faucet, which I always find a little easier. I went ahead and rinsed all of mine out. They should look like this without the top. Now let's go put them in our blender. Now that our peppers are in, I'm adding half a cup of water. I'm going to crush and blend this for just a bit and then add another ingredient. Here I have a 16-ounce container, 2 cups of heavy cream, which is the same as heavy whipping cream. We're going to add the whole container in here. Then we're going to continue blending, pulse, crush, and blend. Once you blend, set it temporarily aside. While you heat up your water for your spaghetti, I recommend you start working on your meatballs. Here I've got a container of some mozzarella balls. I found these, except they have all these different herbs in here. I would have preferred them without the herbs. So if you can find them that way, please go ahead and use them. I'm going to go ahead and work with these. I just went ahead and rinsed them in my sink and came up with this. Also, you may see these small mozzarella pearls, but these are a little bit too small for my eyes, so I don't recommend that you get these. I take my mozzarella balls and just slice them into thinner slices. Then you want to grab each meatball, place a slice of mozzarella on top, put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about a minute or until it melts. It will slightly spread and also adhere a little better. Just like this one, fresh out of the oven. All right, so now for the center. I like using these pearl black olives. They come in slices. However, some of these are a little thicker than I would want, so I also go ahead and slice them into thinner pieces. Add a slice in the center and you've got yourself an eyeball. You'll need to do this to each meatball. Now let's go finish our spaghetti. Moving on to our stove, to our boiling water, we want to add 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon of olive oil. The olive oil just helps your pasta from sticking. For my spaghetti, I like to use Barilla brand, but you can use any brand you have. I'm also using thin spaghetti. You want to cook it according to your box directions. This one cooks in 6 minutes. While our spaghetti is cooking, we're going to add everything we blended into our pan. You're going to notice it look a little thick and kind of fluffy, but it's pretty normal. Turn your heat on to about a 2 or 3 and give it a quick mix. Now we're going to add some salt, and you want to salt it to your taste. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Let's give it a quick mix, and I'm going to turn my heat down to low. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of olive oil. We're going to mix this and then we're going to let it simmer on low heat until our spaghetti is ready. Once your spaghetti is done and you've drained your water, you want to go ahead and add all of your sauce in here. If you don't serve right away and you happen to walk away from your spaghetti for a while, when you come back, just add a little bit of olive oil and give it another quick toss. Now let's start to plate. I usually like to grab a ladle and twist my spaghetti inside of it. It makes it a little prettier, although this time I'm going to have to spread out my spaghetti a little bit to add my eyeballs in there. So here you go. I've added my eyeballs. Now I'm going to use a couple of props. Just make sure that if you do use any props like these, that you wash your spiders or any bugs that you may have going around your food. You don't want anything dirty around your food. Now, how cute does this look for Halloween? And wait until you taste it. The sauce is going to be so delicious. And don't forget, you can have it any time of the year. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure and give it a like, comment, and share with your friends. If you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to do so below or hit my little picture on the side. Also, don't forget to hit the little bell to get notified of all of my new videos. And please be sure to check out these links on the side. Share with your friends. Thanks for watching and your support.